My name is Jim Edgar, and I'm with Avenue and EduLINC, and I'm one of the managers. Rob McBride is also here. He's one of a co-manager of the project. And Paul Carter's here too. Paul's going to help with the chat and answering questions while I'm talking. So please hold your questions till the end. There'll be lots of time for questions. I probably will talk for maybe 25 to 30 minutes, and then we can have questions and answers at the end. I've just posted a new webinar next Friday. It's going to be a Q&A focused on Avenue, answering questions. I'll demonstrate some of the functions in the portal. We're kind of getting slowly doing these the Avenue training because, as you know, there's certain pieces that are still being added. So hopefully by the time next Friday rolls around, there'll be more features to show you, and we'll answer any questions too. So let's stop the poll. I see about half of the participants are using Avenue, and about a third are still on EduLINC, so, and some others as well. Paul, can you see my screen okay before I start talking about it?
Yes, looks good, Jim.
Okay, great, thank you. So today we're going to talk about why you should move to EduLINC. But if you've already, from EduLINC, if you've already moved to Avenue, you'll see some features today as well. You'll probably learn a bit about what's available on Avenue. So this table compares EduLINC and Avenue. EduLINC was set up 10 years ago and now runs on Moodle version 3.1. By comparison, Avenue is newer and runs on the latest version of Moodle. When learners arrive at EduLINC, they log directly into a basic Moodle site. Avenue users log into a portal with custom applications and a modern user interface. EduLINC uses generic numbered accounts. Avenue uses individualized accounts for greater security. EduLINC was designed to support best practices using the LINC Classroom Activities books from 2009. Avenue is designed to support PBLA. Both sites are for skill, but Avenue has the added advantage of offering new PBLA content. One major advantage of Avenue is it's a one-stop shop. Both the learner courseware and the training materials are on the same site. This means teachers do not have to log into a different website than EduLINC to access the Learn IT to Teach training. The single login will also provide access to other tools and resources such as the Tutela collection and file storage. More on those a little later, but I think we can all agree the fewer passwords we have to remember, the better. The training was due for a major overhaul, and the move to Avenue was the perfect opportunity. We added a new entry level before stage 1 to make sure participants have the digital skills to succeed in the training. Stage 1 now includes more opportunities for teachers to see how the courseware can support PBLA. And thanks to Paul for working on that. Pre-stage 2 is more Avenue focused, and we made it more compliant with all web browsers. Previously, some participants had issues with it when using some of the SCORMs with Google Chrome. The training materials in stages 2 and 3 were updated to align with Avenue. The focus of stage 2 remains getting teachers up and running with the courseware while making relatively basic edits to adapt it to their local teaching context. Teachers in stage 3 continue to develop more advanced course editing skills. One major upgrade to stage 3 has been the development of a section on teaching fully online. Participants now have the option of choosing assessments related to blended delivery or fully online delivery. And lastly, we added a requirement that teachers create an assessment which should help them with their PBLA assessments. And stage 4 will be migrated in the coming months. Teachers and learners at the EduLINC site were given generic usernames. While this served its purpose, it sometimes led to confusion when a student or even teacher accidentally used the wrong account. And not everybody changed their passwords, so it was easy to get into another account. This wasn't very, so users could change their passwords. However, when a student password was lost or forgotten, teachers often had to go to their mentor or our live help widget to help recover the password. This will no longer be the case on Avenue. The Avenue site puts the teachers in control of the learners' accounts. The teacher homepage on the portal provides thumbnails of all of the teachers' courses. A sample thumbnail is shown in the black box. There are a series of buttons at the bottom of each course thumbnail, as shown in the red and the green boxes. The buttons from left to right are enroll student, class register, class settings, and go to course. I'll skip the first enroll students button for a moment and talk about the others. So the class register button links to the class register page, which is still in development. But this is how teachers will be able to access each learner's ePortfolio, edit their user accounts, among other things, administrative tasks. The course settings button will be used to enter details about the class, such as the name, start and end dates, and more. And the Go to Course button jumps directly to the Moodle course page, bypassing the dashboard. Clicking the first button, so the Enroll Student button, opens the Enroll Student panel shown in the blue box. A teacher enters an email address of a student here to enroll the student. If there's already an Avenue account associated with that email address, the student is enrolled in the course. If the student is new to the site, the panel in the orange box opens. Teachers fill out this form to create the account. The Enroll Student button at the bottom is cut off and can't be seen, but when the form is completed and the button is clicked, an email is sent to the student automatically with his or her login details. The email includes a link to a short video introducing the site and explaining how the student can log in. The only required fields in this form are email address and first and last name. The other fields are optional and can be filled in by students in their Moodle profile page. Teachers with lower level learners will likely want to save the students the trouble and fill in this information for them. This same form in the yellow box will be used to edit a student account available through the class register. And I've heard a few students we were just talking about that before we started, that some students aren't getting the emails. I think it would be a good idea to give the students the heads up that you're going to be enrolling them, and they should watch for the email if at all possible. Okay. So switching from EduLINC to Avenue is quite seamless for the teachers. The LMS at both sites use Moodle, and it's not difficult to get oriented to the site. Teachers are provided with a 14-minute video explaining the similarities and differences. If teachers want their EduLINC courses migrated over, we take care of that after they fill out a request form. We have a custom application called Migratron we use for this. Perhaps the ePortfolio is the biggest reason teachers may want to switch to Avenue. There are a number of ePortfolio solutions available in Moodle. We suggested using simple directories while teachers had to adapt for their learners on EduLINC. It was functional, but it was really a temporary solution and not easy to move from one course to another when students change classes. The Avenue ePortfolio is a custom application specifically designed for PBLA. As you can see in the screenshot, it includes the language companion. Currently, only the stage 1 companion is available, but soon users will be able to choose between the ESL literacy stage 1 and stage 2 companions. The idea of adding the literacy language companion was suggested in the Avenue Teachers Forum. Because our ePortfolio is a custom solution developed by our team, we are able to implement suggestions like this when it is feasible. It may not always be feasible, but when it is, we'll certainly put your suggestions to work. And we are looking into enabling learners to mark up or annotate the pages of the language companion sometime in the future. Artifacts can be uploaded to an ePortfolio manually using an upload button. Teachers or learners can do this. Teachers may want to do this to give feedback, for instance. Artifacts will also be able to be collected automatically for some types of activities, such as assignments, quizzes, and forum postings. More activities can be added to the auto collection system as the need arises. When teachers want artifacts to be collected automatically, they must tag the activity with the word ePortfolio and the language skill, as shown in the image on the left. So this tag section is at the bottom of every activity when you go in to edit the edit setting or the edit page for the activity. Here we see on the right, this is a reading assessment or a reading artifact. If an artifact is not related to a language skill, it can be tagged with other. We're also going to be looking at adding an About Me tag, again, because of input from teachers. The same tags can be applied to artifacts uploaded manually, as well as the course it is associated with. And there's an option for no course if that's required. This artifacts that are auto-collected are inserted into a template before being added to the ePortfolio. As you can see on the right, that is the template. This slide shows the parts. Oops, I jumped ahead here. Here is a sample ePortfolio page. Artifacts are presented as thumbnails. These artifacts are color-coded based on language skills. The gray toolbar at the top here provides buttons and filters to change and display the artifacts or sort the artifacts. The button on the right here is for uploading. So if you were to click reading, writing, only the reading and writing artifacts would be displayed. Same with the course. So it's got the filter functionality built into it. This slide identifies the parts of a thumbnail artifact. The artifact information is displayed in the main body of the thumbnail, such as the skill, the name of the assignment, the course name, a date, and there's also a unique icon for different types of files. And the two buttons at the bottom are used to preview or download the artifact. Here we see two files that are previewed. The item on the left was auto-collected from a Moodle speaking task. On the right was auto-collected from a reading quiz. And feedback that is given to students in the assignments will also be auto-collected. So not just the actual submission by the student. Here we see some of the new activities that are available in Avenue. The lesson activity allows teachers to create a lesson or an activity that becomes individualized for the learner. It is a tool for adaptive learning. Read Aloud is an activity designed to assist teachers in evaluating their students' reading fluency. Students read a passage set by the teacher into a microphone. Later, the teacher can mark words as incorrect and get the student WCP words correct per minute scores, which is something new. This was is an innovation from the developers that make Moodle. Word cards will be coming soon. This activity enables a teacher to create custom word card games to encourage students to learn new vocabulary. H5P has replaced the H5P interactive content plugin. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. The workshop tool, I think, has a lot of potential for PBLA. It is collaborative learning. It facilitates the collection, review, and peer assessment of student work. We'll be offering a webinar to help teachers get started with this later at the end of the month. The attendance register was on EduLINC, but unlike EduLINC, it is now in all of the courses on Avenue. When courses are migrated over, we also add the attendance register. This activity tracks the learner's time they spend in a course. For those who are not familiar with the game module, it is an activity that allows teachers to quickly create word games such as crossword hang and cryptdex or word searches from a glossary or a multiple choice quiz. All of the EduLINC coursework came with glossaries, but one of the issues was the items in the glossaries were not formatted in a way that was compatible with the game module. So they couldn't be used unless teachers downloaded and added to their course the specially formatted glossaries. This has been fixed in Avenue, and now teachers can create games using the standard glossaries. These glossaries have been categorized by SCORM activity, so teachers can easily create follow-up vocabulary games to the SCORM activities their learners do. And there is a help file that is available in the course or in the training for that. H5P is becoming a standard Moodle activity, and it's being integrated into the Moodle core, much like other standard Moodle activities. Avenue still supports the old H5P interactive content plugin, but we are phasing it out, and I'm sure Moodle is going to be phasing it out too. H5Ps in the new courseware and PBLA modules that we deploy have been upgraded to the new H5P plugin. So migrated courses would still have the old interactive content plugin. Got a help file available and soon a video explaining if teachers want to convert these H5Ps. You may wonder why. Well, teachers frequently complained the way the old H5P plugin replaced the gradebook score with the last attempt a student had. Teachers couldn't limit the number of attempts a student could make, and they couldn't see the results of all of a student's attempts. So this has been fixed in Avenue with the new plugin. H5P in Avenue also uses a content bank. And while this plugin is in its early days, it will eventually allow learning objects to be shared across courses. One final breakthrough with this new plugin is the ability to remove all H5P attempts when doing a course reset. So teachers who want to reuse the same course and have students in the course, they won't have to worry about the scores being retained. So Avenue teachers now have access to a built-in area for storing, editing, and sharing files. It is easily accessible after logging in by clicking on the desk button in the Avenue banner, as shown in the green box. The screenshot in the blue box shows the main screen of the desk. The menu and options on the left are similar to a Dropbox menu. Clicking the plus button seen inside the blue box shows the various options, including uploading a file, creating a folder, as well as the ability to create and edit word processing, spreadsheet, and presentation files, much like in Google Drive. The screenshot in the yellow box shows a word processing screen. The desk is another tool not offered in EduLINC. Avenue is going to continue to improve, and new features will be added in the coming weeks and months. EduLINC is near the end of its life cycle, so we won't be adding improvements to it. EduLINC teachers who change now will benefit from upgrades we make in the autumn. Enhancements coming to Avenue include a new custom mobile app, which we've already started the development process, access to Tutela through their Avenue account, new PBLA modules, and eventually a course builder, which will allow teachers to select the content and create a custom course without going through their mentor and without the need to have all of the content at a certain CLB level in their course. The Center for Canadian Language Benchmarks has developers working on blended PBLA modules, and these are added to Avenue when they are released. And the final slide, time is running out on EduLINC. At the end of this calendar year, EduLINC will no longer be available for teaching purposes. Making the transition to Avenue now will avoid a last-minute rush in December and January. EduLINC will be available to teachers only from January to the end of March.